Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is section 2.4, part 2. First thing you need to do when you're working with lines, always read the instructions so that you know that the answer is being given in the correct form. Now, the directions here ask you to find the slope-intercept form of a line given the following information. So we know that ultimately our final answer has to go in the form y equals mx plus b. Okay? So, if the slope is negative 1/2 and the ordered pair 0, -4 is on my line, here's a very important key. Whenever you have an ordered pair that starts with 0, the number that comes after it is the value of b. That is actually where the line touches the y-axis. So this was really a total gift because they gave us m and they gave us b. So my answer is y equals mx plus b, which turns out to y equals -1/2 x minus 4. So that was pretty easy. Now the next one, we're given the slope and we're given a point. So what we could do is we could actually start with the point slope formula and then convert it. Y equals m times the quantity x minus x sub 1. Well, minus a -1 becomes plus 1, and then you put the plus y sub 1 at the end, which is plus 4. Now the reason we can't stop here is this form is point slope form. We need to distribute, which turns into 5x plus 5 plus 4. Therefore, y equals 5x plus 9. So we used the point slope form to get to the slope intercept form. And I'm going to do the same thing on this problem. Now here we've got a lot of work. -2, -6 is one point, -7, -9 is another point. Change in y over change in x, we need to find the slope. So -6 minus a -9 goes on the top. -2 minus a -7 on the bottom. Always use those parens when you're plugging in after a minus so you don't mess up your sign. And this becomes 3/5. So we know that the slope is 3/5. Now what I do is I take one of the 2 points I was given. I'll take the first one, -2, -6. And I go to the point slope formula and I plug in. Y equals m, which is 3/5, times the quantity x minus x sub 1, but minus a -2 becomes a +2, and then plus y sub 1 at the end. Well, plus a negative becomes a minus. I need to convert this into slope-intercept form, so I distribute. 3/5 times x is 3/5 x. 3/5 times 2 is 6/5, and we have the -6 at the end. Okay, now this is a little bit of a pain because of the fractions, but it's not a horrible pain. We write 6/1 at the end as 30/5. In other words, we got a common denominator so that I'm able to subtract those constants. So we have the answer, y equals 3/5 x minus 24/5. And we're done. So basically, we used the point slope formula to start, and then we converted it into the slope intercept form. So pretty easy. Just remember that to start and then to finish. Okay, now, write a slope intercept equation for a line passing through the point 5, 8, which is parallel to the equation y equals 1/2 x plus 7. Okay. If two lines are parallel, they have the same slope. If this equation does have slope 1/2, that means my equation that I'm looking for also has the same slope, which is 1/2. So I go to the point slope form of the equation. Y equals m, which is 1/2, times the quantity x minus x sub 1. X sub 1 is 5. Plus y sub 1, plus 8. I distribute. which gives me 1/2 x minus 5 halves. And of course, you see this plus 8 at the end. 8 is really 8 over 1, which needs to be changed into 16 over 2, so that I can add these two fractions together, giving me my answer. Y equals 1/2 x plus 11 halves. This next equation, or this next problem rather, looking for an equation in slope-intercept form. This time it uses the word perpendicular. If two lines are perpendicular to each other, their slopes are opposite reciprocals. Very important to know. Okay, 1/2 is the slope of the line that I'm pointing at. My line is perpendicular to it, so my slope is the opposite reciprocal. The opposite reciprocal of 1/2 is -2. What that means in English, I flip it, i.e. take the reciprocal, and I change the sign. So the positive became a negative. So here we go. Now I take the data and I plug into the point slope form. Y equals m, which is -2, times the quantity x minus x sub 1. X sub 1 is 5, plus y sub 1. Y sub 1 is 8. I distribute. I get -2x plus 10 plus 8, which gives me y equals -2x plus 18. So notice what we've done in these past few problems. We used the point slope formula to start, and then we converted it into the slope intercept form because that's what was asked for. All right. Write an equation of the line that goes through the ordered pair -7, 2, which is horizontal. Now, what I want you to do at home, I want you to hold your hand horizontally, okay? Like you're looking out at the horizon. As you move your arm up and down horizontally, I want you to notice the y value is changing. You know, that's what y measures, up and down. So whenever a line is horizontal, the only value that matters is y. The y value here is 2. My equation is y equals 2. Very easy. When I'm asked to find an equation of a vertical line, I'd like you to hold your arm up and down. As you move that line back and forth from left to right, notice the x value is changing. So on a vertical line, okay, like as you go back and forth, you're basically going from left to right. On each line, the x value stays the same. But as you're moving from left to right, you're scanning x's. So vertical lines measure x equals, and in this case, x equals -7. Another way to remember this, horizontal, if you moved your arm horizontally from bottom to top, you're measuring range, and range is y. If you're moving your arm from left to right, you're measuring domain, and domain is x. Okay. And we have one last problem to do, but I'm going to do that on a separate video.